Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, the first figure review of the year, and today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Ultraman Blazar. Now, this character comes from the 2023 television series, Ultraman Blazar, and I really like it. It doesn't go quite as hard as the other Ultra shows like the TDG trilogy or even Ultraman Nexus, but overall, I think Ultraman Blazar is still a very good show. It's very short compared to other Ultra shows that I've seen, so yeah, it's not too much of a hassle to get through. Not that they were, the other shows were a hassle. It's just a lot with, the other shows, but this one only has, 26 episodes, so it's pretty short. So if you were to watch this, which I recommend that you do, it shouldn't take you too long to finish. There is the movie, and I haven't seen that yet, but as far as the show itself goes, I think it's really cool. I like it a lot, I think the ending is a little anticlimactic, but overall, I think Ultraman Blazar is a very good show. And Ultraman Blazar himself, he's very different compared to the other Ultras. The other Ultras, like, they're a lot more human. They're not human, but they're more human, where Blazar just feels like a cartoon character. He jumps around, he makes ape noises, he stretches his body out at one point. It's good stuff. It's really funny. I love Blazar. He's different, but that's why we love him, don't we, fellas? But I digress. Anyway, I don't really have a whole lot else to say, so let's just get right into this. To start, like usual, we'll take a look at the paint, and the painting on this figure I think looks really nice, and really quick, and I'll talk more about this later when I talk about the sculpt, but Blazar has a very, eye-catching design. All the colors on this design look, they pop out beautifully, immediately, it's just very pleasing, but again, I'll talk more about that when we talk about the sculpt, but anyway, as you can see, most of the body here is casted in this metallic silver, which I think looks really cool, with a bunch of blacks throughout, which again, everything is painted very neatly, nothing looks sloppy or out of place or anything like that. It looks good. All of the blues and reds here, looking like veins, I think that looks great, very vibrant right here. The color timer is a transparent piece of plastic on top of a, bluer piece of plastic, and I think that looks good. His eyebrow thing, whatever you want to call these are made of a transparent blue, which I think looks really nice, and this is more so for the detailing, but they actually added a bit of detailing inside here to make it really pop out, and I think that looks really cool. And the eyes, we've seen this before in other SH Figuarts, like Ultraman figures. They are, just like with the brow thing here, a transparent piece of plastic with a bit of white beneath, which I think looks really nice. I will say, right out of the box, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a paint chip right there. Not a big fan of that, but besides that, everything else looks great. So overall, the painting on this figure, I'd say definitely gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the articulation, and the articulation on this figure is kind of weird. It's not bad, it's just really weird. Let's take a closer look. So, right off the bat, the base of the head is what seems to be on a ball joint, which can get some really nice tilts. I do like that a lot. But, unfortunately, it's on this really weird, peg, barbell joint thing, which I don't know why they went with this, because the other SH Figuarts, Ultraman figures that I reviewed, did not have this, and they turned out fine, but this just feels, well, it not only looks weird, but it's just very unnecessary. I mean, I get it, when he's looking up like that, from a bird's eye view, it looks good. But unfortunately, any other angle, it does not. So, not too crazy about that. The base of the neck is on a ball joint as well. The arms can move 360, and they can move outwards like so. We have a butterfly joint for both of the shoulders, which is really nice. No bicep swivel, which is another thing that threw me off. All the other Ultra figures that I reviewed, they have, bicep swivels, but this guy doesn't, so I just think that's a little weird, but I digress. We have a double bend in the elbows here. The wrists here are on swivels, and they can move like so. And if you rotate them, they can move up and down. It's like a swivel ball joint thing, whatever you want to call it, but I digress. The upper torso, we have a ball joint and another ball joint at the lower torso. The legs are also weird here because they extend downwards like so, and I get why this figure has this, right? You know, the other SH Figuarts Ultraman figures that I reviewed, they had something kind of similar to this, where, like, the legs did kind of, like, move down. But it was never like this. They never revealed, like, gaps like this. So I just think this looks a little weird. And, again, I get it. You know, it's for more, you know, motion in the legs here. Like, they can kick upward like so. So I get why they're here. But, again, to me, this just feels, like, as is, it looks a little weird. But, again, I digress. But as I just shown off, the legs can kick forward that much and backwards that much. He can spread like so. Going to the knees here, we have a double bend, which is pretty good. We have a really nice ankle pivot. The feet can, you know, move downwards like so. And we have a toe bend for each foot. Like so. And I think that's pretty much it for the articulation on this figure. And overall, it's not bad. It gets the job done. But the way it's presented here, I think looks a little weird. But I digress. Anyway, overall, the articulation here, I'd say gets 3/4 of a pass. You know, it's functional, it's just a little weird, and I'm not a big fan of how this figure is engineered. So, overall, I'm going to give this figure 3/4 of a pass as far as articulation goes. Now, we'll take a look at the accessories. To start, we have a pair of flat hands, which look nice. We have a pair of relaxed hands. We have a pair of open relaxed hands. We have a pair of grabby hands. And we have a pair of holding hands for another accessory that we'll talk about in a second. First of all, he comes with an alternate color timer piece, which looks good. You know, it gets the job done. You know, it's fine. And then we have his Tilsonite sword, which is really cool, you know? And it even swivels, too, which they didn't need to do that, but they did. And that's very much so appreciated. And, yeah, that's pretty much it for the accessories here. Not a lot compared to the other SH Figuarts Ultraman figures that I reviewed. You know, more would have been nice, but if you do want more, unfortunately, you are going to have to pay extra because those accessories come with the SH Figuarts Earth Garon, which I don't have yet because it seems to be out of stock everywhere, so thank you, Bandai, for that. But as is, it's fine. There could have been more, but again, it's fine. Now, we'll take a look at the sculpt, and weird articulation aside, the sculpting on this figure looks really nice. I think everything looks very spot on to what we see in Ultraman Blazar. You know, the proportions are just right, too, so nothing looks too big or too small or too out of place. Overall, the sculpting on this figure looks great. And really quick, again, I just want to talk about Blazar's design, because I think this is just such a sick design, you know? Like, the colors look great. You know, all of, like, the blacks and silvers look really cool. You know, and all of, like, the red and blues on this figure, you know, looks like veins. And, like, it all looks really cool, the colors. But even just, like, the overall design, like, I like how it just has this one bit here that's, like, way bigger than the one on the other side of his head here. And, like, some of the detailing here actually kind of reminds me of, Eva Unit 1 from Evangelion. You know, you have this almost, like, techno-organic looking, like, Ultra, you know, similar to Ultraman the Next, where, like, it looks like a more, like, darker, more serious, you know, depiction of Ultraman. But in the show, he's just a big goofball. Like, I mentioned this at the start, but, like, he jumps around making, like, ape noises. There's an episode which, first of all, the show's been out for a year, so if you're still worried about spoilers, that's kind of on you. There's a scene where, like, in the second episode, he, like, fishes a kaiju out of the water with, like, a giant, like, fishing pole thing. And there's, like, an episode where, like, he rotates his body like he's made of rubber. And he's just a complete cartoon character, and I absolutely love that. It contrasts with, like, the design, and I think it's great. It's goofy, it's fun, it's cool, it's great. I love it. So Ultraman Blazar just has a wicked awesome design. I absolutely love it. So yeah, but going back to the sculpt itself, it's great. Again, weird engineering with the articulation aside, the sculpting on this figure is great. So the sculpting here, I'd say, definitely gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the detailing. And the detailing on this figure, I think, is really cool. So let's take a closer look. So, starting off with the head here, we can see that it's, traditional Ultraman stuff. It's very smooth. We have, like, that traditional, like, Ultraman look. But then we get to this, like, brow flip. Whatever you want to call this bit. His crest, I don't know. Whatever you want to call this. There's some detailing on the inside of it that really makes this thing pop, which I think looks very nice. So, yeah, that looks great. But going to the body here, the detailing here is really good. All of, like, the intricate, like, details and, like, the torso and everything just looks really cool. Everything pops out perfectly. And this is more so for the sculpt, but I just want to talk about his design again. I really like the asymmetry here. I really like how, like, all of, like, the red and blues here favor one side more than the other. It looks really cool, and I really dig that. So, yeah, but no, just a lot of really nice, almost like, mechanical detailing here, which I think looks great. Normally, I don't really like it when Ultras have, like, that mechanical look, but this guy's an exception because, like, it's like a weird, like, techno-organic thing. I think it looks really cool. I dig it, but yeah, no, just a lot of really nice detailing here. I will say, it is really weird seeing, an Ultra having toes. Granted, it's just 2 toes, but still, it's very weird to me nonetheless. But yeah, going to the back here, again, just a lot of really nice detailing here. Like, everything, it's defined so perfectly. There's so much going on here. Like, visually, it looks great. I absolutely love how this looks. So, yeah. And that's pretty much it for the articulation, or, sorry, the detailing on this figure. And the detailing on this figure, I think, looks very good. So the detailing here, I'd say, definitely gets a pass. Now, we'll do some size comparisons. So to start, here we have the Bandai Movie Monster Series Kiryu 2002. So far, this is the closest thing I have to an Earth Garon figure. Bandai, I'm begging you, please restock the SH Monster Arts of that guy. I really want it. Here we have the Bandai Ultra Hero Series Ultraman Nexus. Here we have the SH Monster Arts Kong 2021. And of course, here we have some hand sanitizer. And here we have Dr. Billy Grant. So at the end of the day, should you get this figure? Overall, I'd say yes. I think the painting looks great, the sculpting, the detailing, everything looks great. The articulation is great too. I think the engineering is just a little weird, but it is functional and works totally fine. So the articulation, I'd say, is great too. And overall, yeah, I'd say you should get this figure. This is a very nice figure to add to your collection. So if you don't have it, then I definitely recommend you pick it up, especially if you like Ultraman Blazar like I do. As far as price tags go, now I got this guy from Big Bad Toy Store for a little over $70, which I think the price could have been a little cheaper, but I do not mind paying that much for, this kind of figure. So try to get him for cheaper, but if not, a little over 70 isn't too bad either. So yeah, at the end of the day, definitely get this figure. So yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.